morning, Mr. Johnson.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
I am great. How's your day going?
It's going great so far.
That's awesome. That is great to hear. Okay, I got your text on yesterday about your son being sick. Is he doing better?
Yeah, he's doing much better. My wife is at home with him for today, and he seems to be going on quite well.
Okay, that is awesome. How old is he?
12.
12 years old? Okay. Well, just feel free, Mr. Johnson, if I understand how it is to have kids that are sick and having to work at the same time. So just make sure that if at any point today, if you need to step outside and take a phone call to check on him, just don't hesitate to give me a call.
Okay, thank
And I will come around and I'll watch your class or do whatever you need me to do in order for you to check on your son and make sure he's okay. Sounds good?
Sounds great.
All right, good. All right. First, Mr. Johnson, I would like to say thank you so much for allowing me to come in and observe your class. I cannot begin to express how much I enjoyed it. It was awesome.
Oh, thank you very much. I tried real hard to make my learning experience great for the students.
And you did that. They really enjoyed that. I can tell they had an awesome time throughout that lesson that you provided for them. So what are some things, Mr. Johnson, you think went well during that observation?
I think I did a really good job keeping my students on the task at hand. I gave the students the opportunity to get with a partner to complete their assignment so they can learn from one another.
Right. And that is awesome. Your students were definitely on task. They were always excited. It looked like they were always like right there and ready to respond to the next task that you gave them. I can tell you have a great relationship with your students. Your management skills were awesome.
Okay.
They were awesome. I can tell that you had clear expectations for your students and you made sure you communicated those expectations to them so that your classroom environment would be conducive to learning. I would also like to point out too, Mr. Johnson, that the signals and timers that you used to manage your transitions, that was flawless.
Okay.
That was absolutely flawless. You did an awesome job with that.
Oh, thank you very much.
Okay. All right. So tell me more about what you think you did well.
Well, I think for the most part everything went well, but it appeared that one of the students was doing pretty much all the work in some of the parts. I really couldn't tell if both the students in each pair was getting an equal opportunity to practice or do the math problem.
Okay, and I'm smiling already, Mr. Johnson, because sounds like we're on the same page here. As I was observing, I observed the same thing. I observed maybe 5 out of the 9 pairs of students. There was one student that was dominant in each pair.
Okay.
It seemed like that student was doing all of the work, and then the other student would just kind of piggyback and, copy the answers and things of that nature. And I'm not saying that that's just a negative thing. It's something that needs to be fixed, but it's not uncommon.
Okay.
That is something that we commonly see when we try to get our students to do pair work or group work with one another, which is why we're having this conversation, because it is something that can be addressed and can be fixed. Can you tell me more about that assignment? What were you trying to achieve with that assignment?
Well, the purpose for the assignment was to provide students with the opportunity to get additional practice solving the math problems.
Okay.
But the intentions was not for one student to do all the work and the other student copy the work.
Okay, yes, right.
All of the students are supposed to be engaged into this process. What are some things that I can do to address and to increase the chances that all the students are engaged? And I can, of course, I can only observe one pair at a time.
Oh, yeah, right, exactly. And I totally agree with you. There's only one or you in there, of course. So I totally agree on you with that. One thing that I think, as we were having this conversation, one structure, are you familiar with Caden?
Yes.
Caden structures? Okay. One structure that is really, really good and effective to use when you're having your kids work together in pairs is called the Rally Coach.
Okay.
This Caden structure is really good. It increases student accountability, and it assures that both students in a pair are taking equal responsibility for the completion of the assignment. Okay, so here are the directions for Rally Coach. I would like for you to go ahead and read over it.
Okay.
Take a few seconds, a minute or so, and read over the directions to Rally Coach.
Okay, the teacher or the student determines who is partner A and who is partner B. Only one pencil and one handout for each pair. Partner A works the math problem and verbally explains his or her thinking while solving the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Partner B only listens and only speaks if partner A makes some mistakes in solving the problem.
Okay.
Partner B coaches partner A on that one mistake or error and allows partner A to finish solving the problem. Once partner A finishes solving the problem, he or she will write the initials above or below the problem. Give each other a high five. Partner A then passes the handout and the pencil to partner B. Partner B then solves the next problem following steps 1 through 5.
Okay, absolutely. Okay, Mr. Johnson, do you have any questions
I think I
about the
understand.
structure?
I think I understand. I think I do.
Okay, so I tell you what, one thing I've learned in this job is I can read people pretty good. You seemed a little apprehensive about it a little bit. So let's check the time. I think we have like 10 more minutes left.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and I'm going to model it with you.
Okay.
Okay, does that sound good?
Sure.
To give you a little clarity on some of the directions. All right, so the first thing it mentioned is that for each pair, you only have one handout and one pencil, right?
Okay.
Okay. And then you determine, the teacher can determine, like you can determine which student in your pair. You can tell them the person that has the birthday first of the year is partner A or partner B, you know, whatever. You can determine that on your own. But for the purpose of me making sure that the directions are clear on how the students are supposed to be responding to the protocol of the rally coach structure, I'll be partner A.
Okay.
And then I'll go first. Okay? All right. Now, I'm partner A. Okay? I have 3,462 times 6. So the first thing I'm going to do is write 3,462 times 6 vertically so that I can solve it better. Okay, 6 times 2 is 12.
Right.
So I'm going to write 2, and then I'm going to carry my 1. All right, 6 times 6 is 36.
Well, you forgot to add your 1 into your carry right there.
Okay, I did. Thank you. I'm sorry. Okay. 6 times 6 is 36, plus 1 is 37. So I'm going to write 7 and then carry my 3. 6 times 4 is 24, plus 3 is 27. So that's 7. So carry my 2, and then
No. 6 times 3 is 18 plus the 2.
okay. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I did make that. But 6 times 3 is 18, plus 2 is 20. Okay. So the product of 3,462 times 6 is 20,772.
That's correct. All right. That's it.
Okay.
That was
Now
simple.
your partner B.
Okay, again, the first thing I'm doing, I'm going to write the problem out vertically. 5,121 times 4. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 1 is 4. And 4 times 5 is 20.
Okay.
And so that makes the written out, the answer to the problem is 20,484.
You forgot to say product.
Oh, okay. The final product is 20,484.
Okay.
And there are my initials. There we go.
Okay.
That's it. Is that
Awesome
good?
job. That was good.
Okay.
Okay. So do you have a better, are you more comfortable with the structure and how it's supposed to work?
Yeah, I sure do.
Okay, so let me just point out a few things that I would do, and again, this information is on the PowerPoint that I'll be sending to you,
Okay.
and it's also on this information I'm going to allow you to take
Okay.
with you, the copy of the PowerPoint, which is the recommendations page. I'm recommending that when you initially implement this structure in your class with your students, to make sure that you're able to really watch them, because it's very important that the other student that's supposed to be listening does not completely take over.
Okay.
They only step in when there's an error or something that needs to be corrected.
Okay.
But that other student that's working the problem is mostly responsible for working the problem at that time, and you don't want the other student to take over. However, that's what they're used to doing when they're working in pairs. So you want to make sure you limit the problems to maybe 2 problems,
Okay.
to give them some quick practice with the structure and practice with the content that you're teaching. But that also gives you the opportunity to walk around and pay attention to what each pair is doing, to make sure that the listener is only listening and stepping in when they're supposed to, and to make sure that the student that's doing the working the problem is the only one that's working the problem and that has the pencil and paper at their time and things of that nature.
Okay.
Okay. And then, so do you have any more questions about that?
No, don't have any questions, but I will contact if I do have any questions.
Okay, sounds great.
I'm going to practice the structure with my students starting tomorrow.
Okay, that sounds great. Just remember that this is all about growth. Okay? It's all about growth, and a part of growth is trial and error. If you see anything that need to be done differently, or you think of another structure or an idea that you might want to use instead of Rally Coach, just feel free to come out and reach out to me, and we'll sit back down and we'll discuss it again and collaborate and come up with another idea. Okay? But I would like for you to wholeheartedly try this structure first.
Okay.
And then maybe if some things need to be tweaked, we can tweak it. But this is a great structure. You're going to see that it works really well with the kids, and the students really, really love it. Okay? All right. So with that being said, what day would you like for me to come and observe so we can collaborate and make changes if needed?
Can you come in Thursday, let's say at about 9 o'clock?
Sure. I sure can. Thursday at 9 is great. I will see you then. I'm super excited. I love working with the kids, and being in the classroom. Again, I enjoy coming in your class, observing your class. Keep up the great work. Thank you for being open-minded and willing to try new things in your class to improve the quality of instruction for your students.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Any more questions?
No, thank you.
All right. I will see you.
I appreciate you for your time.
No problem.
Okay.
Absolutely. That's what I'm here for. I'll see you tomorrow at 9 o'clock. 9 in the morning sharp.
All right.
All right. Thank you.